We're going to get back to our coverage of the continuing protests in our community. This is a live look right now at the Mecklenburg County Courthouse from Chopper 9 Sky Zoom, where public defenders this afternoon are joining with some of those protesters out there asking and demanding for change. Some protesters saying that police departments are overfunded and militarized and have traumatized, they say, generations of people. A protest this afternoon started with a bit of a fight, a scuffle, all involving a police captain who has been marching along with those protesters from the very beginning. I want you to take a look at this video right now. Our Joe Bruno captured this outside the government center in the past hour. Protesters were chanting for Captain Brad Koch to leave. Then one of them pushed him, and so they ended up wrestling on the ground. Some protesters helping out the officer, others grabbing the officer, trying to help the protester. That was the scene again in Uptown Charlotte just 1 hour ago. And this was the same police captain you see in this video involved in another tussle last night. Our cameras were there. Again, Captain Koch marching with protesters when police say several angry people attacked him. And that's when a little bit later police officers showed up on their mountain bikes and motorcycles, and they used pepper spray to get him out of that situation. So let's go live now to Channel 9's Genevieve Curtis. Genevieve, one captain in the middle of both confrontations, you hope things don't escalate.
Yeah, absolutely, Scott. I mean, we have seen the captain out here night after night, day after day, peacefully marching with protesters. I will say that the crowd here at the government center is a lot younger than we have seen in previous nights marching. We don't know who they might be organized with, but they clearly did not want the captain last night. They didn't want him here today, but we have really seen, some police and protesters clash in the last 11 days. But more so, we have seen police and protesters talking to each other, walking together. But of course, last night, things took a turn. Take a look. Channel 9 cameras were rolling last night as a group of protesters became aggressive towards CMPD Captain Brad Koch, who had been walking along peaceful protesters for most of the day. CMPD says protesters began physically shoving him while he was walking with them on 4th Street around 10:30. We saw other protesters trying to protect Captain Koch as he continued calmly walking down the street until a group of bike officers arrived. We've seen Captain Koch out with protesters throughout the last week and a half, walking alongside them, talking together, praying, and even taking a knee. CMPD says he's walked hundreds of miles. CMPD also tweeted saying thank you to the other protesters who stepped in to protect the captain before other officers could arrive. Today, the Fraternal Order of Police sent me a statement saying in part, quote, "We hate to see anyone get injured. It is especially concerning to see one of our members attacked while going above and beyond the line of duty. Captain Koch has been front and center in coordinating with the protesters to ensure their constitutional rights are protected." CMPD says as a result of this incident, one officer was injured, pepper spray was deployed, and 2 suspects were arrested. And Scott, CMPD saying today that since the protests began, 19 police officers have been injured. But again, they are committed to being out here working with protesters to make sure they can all safely exercise their First Amendment rights. Of course, protests happening behind me right now. We're going to continue to stay on this for you. Scott?